Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We will begin with the invocatory verse from which is the first verse of the first chapter of Pañcadaśī, which is called Mangalacharanam, to gain the blessings of Bhagavan, Guru, etc. This is what is chanted to gain the blessings of Bhagavan, and here Bhagavan is invoked in the form of the Guru. As I said yesterday's class was all an introduction to the Pañcadaśī in general, and so we saw how Swami Vidyaranya, one of Swami Vidyaranya's gurus, was a very exalted and erudite teacher and scholar by the name of Swami Shankarananda. And here this Swami Shankarananda is being lauded as the as the one who is going to give blessings for this work to be completed. And we know that the blessings were successful. Why the prayer was successful? Because obviously the blessings have been are fructifying in the form of the Pañcadaśī and are available even to this day to study. We will chant this verse. You can follow me, and first we will chant it with a little break, even though the first line is one word, the second line is one word, but still to chant it, at least when we are learning, we have to break it in the middle, and then as we get adept over the course of this month, then it will come easier. Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmane. Very impressive and long compounds, and that is why it is like that. So we'll start with the easiest word, Namaha. So we feel good about ourselves. Everybody knows the meaning of Namaha, right? Namaha means obeisance, salutations, namaskar. So everybody knows that. So Namaha always takes what is called the fourth, the dative case in Sanskrit, and the dative case, means that Namaha, it translates as Namaha unto something or somebody, and so that to which the salutations, that which is the object of salutations, will take the dative case. So then the next what follows is the dative case, Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmane. It is not Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmane. It's not 5 words, it is 1 word. So it's a complex compound. So Janmane, that is the one, it is so in the Sanskrit compound, when you put the words together, all the words that are part of the compound go back to what is called Pratipadika. Pratipadika means it's there in their raw form, and then the case ending, which is the 4th case ending, is always put at the very end. So that end of all the words that you are putting together. Like, we have, if you want to say, Parvati cha Parameshwarascha. So Parvati and Parameshwara. So then Parvati is there, and then you add Parvati and Parameshwara, and then the dual case, because there are 2 of them, like Ramaha Ramau. So Parvati Parameshwarau. Jagatah Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwarau. So the dual case comes at the very end of Parvati and Parameshwara. So actually when you split the compound, it is Parvati cha Parameshwaraha cha Parvati Parameshwarau. So that's one example of a small, simple compound. And this one is much more, complex, and we will not be going into too much grammar, but only, only when the occasion, warrants it, we will be discussing some of this. And so, let us look at the words separately. We'll begin with the last word, Janmane. So, Janmane means unto that which is, which has birth, which has taken birth. So, Janma, is birth unto that which has birth, which is manifest, in other words. So, Janmane. So, what is manifest? So which one we have to look carefully. What is manifest here? Is it Sri Shankarananda who is manifest, or is it the Guru who is manifest, or is it Padambu that is manifest? Padambu means the lotus feet. And so where is the Namaha? The Namaha is to the Shankarananda Guru, and when you say Namaha to the Guru, the Namaha to the Guru is always to the feet, and we will talk about why and how that is the case. It is always to the feet. You don't say, "Yo Guru, how are you doing?" and slap the Guru on the back. Why? But, after all, it is what? Advaita, non-duality. So why should you have the teacher and the taught and all these things? And we saw that even though it is as though the distinctions we saw that at length in the Dakshinamurti Stotram, even though the distinctions are as though they are more or less maintained for the sake of the parampara, for the sake of the sheer delight and the reverence that one gains as a result of this knowledge, because the knowledge makes one necessarily humble. And so when we think of Guru, then when you think of Guru like Pujya Swamiji and other exalted teachers, what do you think of? You just think of their feet. And so, and why feet? To understand this itself is a big feat. To accomplish this understanding is itself a big feat, because why feet? Because it is understood in two ways. The feet symbolize the foundation of the knowledge. So the Guru is standing, let us say, and the Guru is standing on what? Literally his or her feet. The feet is making the Guru stand up, upright. But literally, what is the metaphorical way in which the Guru is standing? The Guru is standing on the foundation of the knowledge. So the feet become symbolizing the symbols of the foundation of the knowledge. So the feet are what allow the Guru to stand up and stand straight, and stand in the glory of one's own self. Sve mahimni tishtati, in the glory of one's own self, not leaning against anything, independently standing, just like the Atma. The Atma is what? Self-effulgent and self-evident. It does not lean on anything or stand on anything. And even if the Guru is infirm and wants to lean on a Shishya, or has to lean on a Shishya or on a crutch or on a walker, it still, does not, still you pay, salutations to the feet of the Guru, because we are looking not at the literal feet, but at the metaphorical feet. And the feet symbolize the self-standing Atma, that which allows this Atma to be recognized as the truth of oneself, which is not leaning on anything. The Atma is not leaning on the Jagat. In fact, it's the other way round. The whole Jagat is leaning on the I, And Atma is also not leaning on Ishvara. Why? Because Atma is Ishvara. And Atma, of course, is not leaning on the Jiva. Jiva is leaning on Atma. So Atma means the truth of the self, that is self-effulgent, self-evident, that which asks you, when you are asked the question, are you here, which spontaneously says yes, because you know you are. And that's Satchidananda Atma, and you know you are always the same unchanging I. And so the Guru who knows this, therefore the feet symbolize that which is the self-standing I. And who is, paying obeisance to the feet is the one who wants to know the Atma as the self-standing I, and to no longer lean on the Jagat, and to no longer just, depend upon the Jagat for one's happiness. The Guru is one who is Atmani eva Atmana tushtaha, without any reason for being, delighted. The Guru is content and delighted with the truth of the self, does not need to be entertained in order to be happy, does not want anything else other than oneself to be happy. And so this is lauded in the form of the feet of the Guru. So this is the primary reason why when we think of teacher, we think of the feet. And also there are two other reasons. The second reason is that, when you want to address the feet and have a relationship with this knowledge via the foundations of this knowledge, what do you have to do? You have to bend. And the bending is good, as Pujya Swamiji would always joke, because the Madhya Pradesh, Madhya Pradesha means what? There is a pun. It is the biggest state in India, right in the middle, and also Madhya Pradesha means the midriff, the middle region, where all the gulab jamuns go. All the chaklis, murukus, gulab jamuns, and payasam that we have, all the sweets and everything go and sit in the middle region. And so one nice way to forestall that and keep the middle region slim and trim is to bend. Jokes aside, that bending is called in Sanskrit as prahvi bhava. Prahvi bhava means the bending, and the physical enactment of this bending is, yields a lot of metaphorical fruits in the form of keeping the mind and the heart humble, which is a requirement to gain this knowledge. Because as we know, the Ahankara plays numerous tricks, and the Ahankara makes you feel like, why do I need this knowledge? I'm fine as I am. All these years I have gone without this knowledge. What happened? Nothing happened, and I am alright. And if I am Ishvara, why I have to study this? I'm already Ishvara. Does Ishvara need to study? No. Then why do I have to study? All these confusions are there, and this confused individual, needs this knowledge, but, is unable to have the mental, the mental framework in the form of what is called adhikaritvam. And so therefore, the tradition forces one to bend. And this bending I am not making up. Look at the 34th verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Tad vidhi, know this knowledge. How? Pranipatena, by falling flat on the floor. In front of the feet of the teacher. Pariprashnena sevaya, by having a relationship with the teacher in the form of respectful dialogue, questions, samvada, and by doing seva. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, and these become the conditions, these three things, falling at the feet of the teacher, for the sake of the knowledge, and the seva, and the proper dialogue, proper attitude of respectful dialogue become the conditions for what? Upadekshanti te jnanam, jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. So they then, will definitely teach. So the mental framework of being always, ready to bend. Ready to bend means what? Ready to receive the knowledge, ready to be proved wrong, ready to, take, to even accept that where one is right, where one is wrong, and the ability to correct oneself is the bending. And the bending keeps the ahankara, in check. Because, if we look at when there is a big thunderstorm or a tornado or some kind of a big thing, then you see that some trees break and some trees survive. And if we look deeply in nature, in the Prakriti itself is a guru, nature itself is a teacher. And then what do you see is that the trees that are able to bend with the wind do not break. The trees that are unable to bend break. And so too in the human life we learn from all this. We learn to be flexible, especially where the source of knowledge is concerned, because there is a benefit of doubt that is given to the source of knowledge, namely the Upanishad, Pañcadaśī, and the one who is wielding the knowledge, the teacher, so that I may be able to correct myself where I am wrong. And so therefore the feet, that is the second reason the feet become important. It's a symbol of the student's humility and the surrender to the source of the knowledge. So the first reason was what? It is seen metaphorically as the foundation of the knowledge. And what is the second reason? It becomes a symbol of the student's humility and and the ability to keep the ahankara in check. Very, very important. And there is one more reason why the feet, the feet are seen as a place of, gaining the blessings. And this is a very interesting reason. It comes from, it has Upanishadic backing, but then, it has become, it has become much more filled with a lot of belief and Shraddha based belief, and so the Upanishadic backing comes from a mantra in the Mundakopanishad. The third reason why the feet become an important source of surrender, the teacher's feet. And so in the Mundakopanishad, towards the end, is a mantra. Atmadyam hi archayet bhuti kamaha. Bhuti kamaha. The people who want wellness, well-being, especially in terms of the material well-being. Spiritual well-being also is of course important, but often one realizes that the spiritual well-being, to a certain extent, the spiritual growth is dependent upon the material well-being. And so too even all our prayers, like Sahanau Bhunaktu, may our bodies be nurtured, and Sthirairangai Stuttuvagum Sastanubhihi, Apyagantu Mamangani Vakpranaschakshushrothram, etc. So even the Upanishad maintains that a certain level of material well-being, physical, emotional, etc. is contingent upon the ability to, is dependent, upon that is dependent the ability to gain the knowledge. So the body should be well, the hands and legs should be well, etc. So even for a jignasu, some bhuti, material well-being, is important. And if one is not a jignasu, of course the material well-being takes precedence over everything else. I should be okay, there should be money in the bank, I should be happy, my family members should be okay, etc., etc., etc. Okay? And so, and the feet, and the guru is a person who is seen as Vairagya Murti. an embodiment of not wanting things at all. And yesterday's class, we saw, what did we see in yesterday's class? Swami Vidyaranya had so much vairagya that even though he longed, he pined for a darshan of Gayatri Devi after completing Gayatri Mantra Purascharana, even though he did that, then, when Goddess Gayatri finally made an appearance, it was after what? After his sannyasa. And he had so much vairagya that he did not even need her anymore. He was able to just say, thank you, Goddess, I don't need you anymore. In fact, you have blessed me by what? By not needing, by helping me to not need a darshan. By helping me to just let go of that last desire to see God in a particular form, in the form of the goddess, etc. And so we saw that vairagya. And so that is an example of the extent of the teacher's vairagya, because the teacher is always seen as the one who is one with the knowledge. And so, and at the same time, the teacher is gaining a lot of punya. How is the teacher gaining punya? The teacher is gaining punya because each time the teacher teaches, that is a punya karma. So this is, so how many classes, so much punya, so little time to even expend the punya. So now the teacher has got a big potli, a big, what is that, a big ball of punya, correct? And then if it was a normal human being, normal means actually abnormal, but from the standpoint of the masses of jivas, quote unquote, as though normal. So if the teacher was just like every other jiva, then this punya, they would be guarding very, very carefully. They would be consciously gaining the punya through doing things like Tirtha Yatra and sitting in Vedanta class, etc. Because even sitting in Vedanta class gives a lot of punya, yes? Not just the teacher, the student also gains punya, because when you are not sitting in the Vedanta class, what are you doing? One would be doing all other kinds of wrong things or useless things. So therefore this is a punya karma, and therefore the teacher has a lot of punya. And if the teacher were a regular jiva, they would be guarding the punya and using it to go to heaven, using it and hoping that it would fructify in order to give them a comfortable life with lots of money, lots of visits to 5-star hotels, etc. And first class plane travel. So this is what they would hope the punya would fructify into, and then a better next life. But here we are talking of a teacher of Vedanta who is not even interested in darshan of God like Swami Vidyaranya. And so where would all this punya go? That is a very important question. Where would all this punya go? They don't require the punya. And what maybe afterlife, they are not planning on, next life or afterlife. This life they are jivan muktas, or they are sannyasis committed to gaining jivan mukti. Because you see, there are two primary forms of sannyasa. Many kinds of sannyasas are there. At some other time we can discuss the different kinds. Bahudaka sannyasi, Kutichaka sannyasi, etc. So many are there. But, Apat sannyasi, all these things are there. But two primary forms are there. One is called Vividisha sannyasa, Veditum Ichha. So a sannyasa that is taken for gaining nishtha in the knowledge, a lifestyle that is taken to gain this, to assimilate the knowledge on a deeper level, that is called Vividisha sannyasa. And then, the other sannyasa is Vidvat sannyasa. Vidvat sannyasa means the person already knows, and the person, just naturally drops out of the life, may not even take to wear orange. And one, recent example is Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. He went, to Tiruvannamalai, and there he, right on the temple courtyard, shaved off his head, threw his Yajnopavita and all his clothes he threw into the, tank of the water tank of the temple. And then the priest who saw this, the temple priest was a very wise Panditji, and the Panditji came and gave him a piece of cloth and said, I know exactly what you're doing here, and out of this vairagya, of this, engendered by the knowledge, you're throwing the old life away because it is happening spontaneously. But for our sake and for the sake of the people, please accept this Kaupina, please accept this piece of cloth, loin cloth, and please wear it, and please come and sit in the temple, and you will be given food, and you will be, your needs will be taken care of. And so Ramana Maharshi accepted the langoti, the loin cloth, and and an upper cloth, some dhoti, and then wore that. So this is what is called a kind of a Vidvat Sannyasa. So whether the Guru is a Vividisha Sannyasi or a Vidvat Sannyasi, they are not interested in Punya at all. Because, if you are interested in Punya, you can't be a Sannyasi. That means you are interested in afterlife, you want to shore up some bank account. Punya is just like a kind of a currency. And here, this is the Punya is connected to what is called, these three Eshanas. Eshana means desire. Putraishana, Vittaishana, Lokaishana. Lokaishana means all these lokas. I want to go here, go there. After death, I want to see what Pitraloka is and say hello to all the ancestors. And then I want to go to Brahmaloka and sit in front of Brahmaji and gain and study Pañcadaśī there. Why? Because here it is boring, this is boring. I want to go somewhere, sit on cloud 9 in front of Lord Brahmaji. All these strange desires. I want to, do a waltz with Indra, cha-cha-cha. All these, this is called Lokaishana. Wanderlust. Whether it is in other lokas or even in this loka. I want to go here, I want to go to Badrinath, I want to go to Kedarnath, I want to go to Valley of Flowers, I want to go abroad, I want to go here. All these things, In fact, Pujya Swamiji would, joke with people. Somebody would ask him, have you gone to Kedarnath? Have you gone to Badrinath? He would say, my Shani Dasha has not yet come. Shani Dasha means to go to Kedarnath is not ordinary. You have to sit on a donkey's back, and then go, and the donkey is going on small ledges, and sometimes it misses the balance, and you get a little jolt sitting on the donkey. All these things are, difficult things. So, for whom Badri, Kedara and all the Tirthas are right here in the heart, why will they need Punya? So the Lokaishana is not there. Then Vittaishana is not there. The desire to gain lots of money. Because what will the sannyasi do with money, Yeah. And, some needs are there, whatever, and the rest they use for something. No, but maybe the sannyasi wants to build ashram, and in that itself is another pressure. I want to have big ashram, and it should have so many rooms, and it should have all these things, and therefore I want to collect money. This is all, this all, ashram is for the people. It's not for the sannyasi. People build the ashram and they invite the sannyasi to come sit and teach, and the sannyasi says, okay, I could be sitting here, I could be sitting in the ashram, no problem, and he or she comes and teaches. That is how it is. So the people build the ashram, so the people have the, the impetus and the desire to build the ashram, kingdom, whatever it is. So there is no Vittaishana, there is no Lokaishana. Or even if there is Vittaishana or Lokaishana, it is not, it is being shunned, even in the case of a Vividisha sannyasi. And then finally there is no Putraishana. Putraishana means wanting, the delight of having children. And this is not just real children, because that is not possible for a sannyasi who is, who is a monastic, but we are talking of even metaphoric children. Even that desire should not be there to treat the bhakta ganas, the devotees or the students, infantilize them and treat them like children. This is a problem. To condescendingly look down upon the people that you teach is a very big problem that one has to really be very, very careful about. In the teaching, there should be zero manipulation and zero expectation. And if there is an expectation on part of the Vedanta teacher, it is that whatever is said is understood. If not now, 10 years from now. That's the only expectation. It's a relaxed expectation that, I teach in order to be understood. That's the only expectation. It's not that, okay, one chose not to have children and go to this life, but then what happens? There is some pressure to be loved, in a certain way, and then, then people end up infantilizing the devotees and the students, shishyas and devotees. And even though, the guru is eulogized, tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, that is only from the standpoint of the student. The student invokes the teacher as mother, sees perhaps a mother figure or a father figure in the teacher, and that is a temporary place, of resolution. Because the one that approaches the teacher is the one that is, is the one that is trying to come to terms with having a lot of having a lot of unresolved mother issues, father issues, which everybody has. And in the process of seeking resolution for the mother issues and the father issues, what happens? One invokes in the teacher the mother or the father that one would have liked to have. Because there is unconditional love, there is, zero expectation, and, that is what the whole thing is. But this is a temporary transference. It's a phase. It's a phase which the teacher may even encourage in certain cases, but that is being done as a pedagogical encouragement. A pedagogical encouragement means a deliberate encouragement for the sake of the teaching to be assimilated. And I have seen Pujya Swamiji do this. Sometimes people, one young, lady came devastated because she had lost her father. And she was so upset. She was a jigyasu, a mumukshu. She was attending all the classes, and she was very upset and was, inconsolable because the father passed away suddenly. And I happened to be in the room with Pujya Swamiji, and I was getting up to go, but, because obviously she needed some private time, I thought, and Pujya Swamiji just said, "Okkar, sit down, don't go." And I was so glad he said that, because I was treated to this beautiful, to this beautiful display of love on part of Pujya Swamiji. He held her hand and he said, "From now, I am your father. Treat me as your father." Gave her a hug. She wanted to hold him. He allowed himself to be held, and, and she was very consoled and very very much, much contented and happy. She was not happy because she was still grieving, but she went away soothed, and, and then I was still in the room, and I looked at Pujya Swamiji. He looked at me with a smile, and this was a teaching moment for me, and he said, "She needed that, and she will need it for some time, and we have to give this because this is what she needs." Which means what? After a while she will not need this, and I will withdraw the role of the father, because this is just a small, he's allowing this transference to take place for her to be soothed enough to not go away from the knowledge. This is what, this is why the teacher will say, certain things. And so therefore what? But the teacher should be free of the need to be the father or the mother. This is what I saw in Pujya Swamiji, a total freedom to either want to be the mother or want to be the father, etc. And so the teacher doesn't have what is called putraishana, should not have what is called putraishana, and should not refer to the student as, children. This is very, troublesome. And so then where we'll now come back to the question that we have been grappling with all along. Where will all the punya go? And here is a funny belief that the punya goes along with gravity. It's funny because you can't even see punya, correct? You can't see, oh, here goes punya, here goes papa. You can't see papa, punya. It is subtle. But still, even though it is subtle, the human mind, crazy as it is, says that believes that it is subject to gravity. And so now we bring in back the standing figure of the Guru, and if the punya is subject to gravity, where will all these heaps of punya which the Guru has total vairagya towards and not wanting to use any of it, kidhar jayega, where will it go? This is not a rhetorical question. Answer it, please. It will go to the feet. It will sink downwards and settle in the feet. This belief has no Upanishadic sanction. This is what all the people somehow came to the conclusion. Totally illogical, unscientific, because something that is subtle, how will it go, be subject to gravity? So, but the belief is that it will settle at the feet. Atmagyam hi archayet bhuti kamaha. Yes, that has Upanishadic sanction. Worship the knower of the Atma, even if you want even for the sake of material desires for them to be fulfilled, may one worship the Atmagya, the knower of the Atma. This has Upanishadic sanction. But how to worship and why the feet, this is purely, bhakti belief based. So the belief of all the bhaktas, and this is generational bhaktas, coming down from the Guru Parampara, they feel that all the punya settles at the feet. And you, as either the devotee or as the student devotee, the one who is a jignasu bhakta or a bhakta who is not a jignasu, what do you want? Punya. All the jivas, regardless of whether they are jignasus or not, want punya. Jignasu wants punya because the jignasu doesn't want there to be any break in the teaching, any obstacles to come, adhyatmika, adhi bhautika, adhi daivika, whether the obstacle is from outside, acts of God, etc., suddenly being, divorced from the teaching, or from one's surroundings, no obstacle should come, and then finally from within oneself, no obstacle should come to receive the teaching. And so the feet become, a place for milking punya. And even the villagers know this. And so everybody makes a beeline for the feet, thinking that when I touch the feet, the belief is what? All the punya gets transferred on to me. Correct? Yeah. And so this is the belief. And then even the rural people in India somehow know this without having studied Vedanta. And again, one time I was with Pujya Swamiji in Andhra, in Rajamundri I went, and not even the town, but some village near there, where they were having a big Kumbhabhishekam, and Pujya Swamiji said, okay, I will come. And he was sitting there and he was surrounded by, lakhs of people, hundreds of thousands of people. And then when they got a chance, they were literally milking the feet from the knee downwards, like one milks a cow. And then finally it was so painful. We could see for Pujya Swamiji that we had to form a human chain to not let the people through, because it was really very painful for him. Because when one person does it, it's okay. 10 people do it, it's okay. Maybe even 100. But here we are talking of hundreds of thousands of people coming and milking the feet and not listening. Just say, touch the feet, don't milk it. They were not listening. So this is what is this thing. And so this becomes, you know what, the third reason for the feet to be a, you know, to be a source of invocation by the students and by the Bhaktaganas. So these are the three reasons, you know, and the first reason is because it's seen as the foundation of the knowledge, and the second reason is to gain shishyahood, to have a attitude, to gain the attitude of prakvi bhava, or a kind of a, you know, the humility that is required for this teaching. And the third reason becomes what? The third reason becomes an important reason in terms of the belief of the devotees. This is the place where I gain the punya, because the teacher is wasting this punya. The teacher is not wanting the punya because the teacher is not having any desires. So I become the recipient of this punya by touching the feet. So this is what the thing is. And the feet are likened to the lotus. Usually we say lotus feet, pada pankajam, and here padambu. Padambu, ambu here means lotus. Ambu actually means water, but you don't say water. So padambu, you know, is here. The water means that which grows in the water. Padambu, you know, is the you know, is the lotus feet. So these lotus feet, and you know, these, why lotus? Because the lotus is a symbol of purity, and the one who is one with this knowledge is what? Nothing but pure. Nothing but pure. Because why? No ragadveshas, even on the relative level, no ragadveshas, no kama, krodha, all these things have been held in check. Ragadveshas are suspended and do not come in the way of the person's, you know, day-to-day awareness and day-to-day behavior. And then what? Kama, krodha suspended, raga, dvesha suspended, so they don't come into the picture, and then, you know, they are resolved. The mind is resolved through the practice of, you know, shama, dama, etc., all the qualifications. And so therefore what? The person is pure-hearted, compassionate, accommodative. So this is on the Vyavaharika level. And from the standpoint of the absolute level, Vyavaharika means the empirical level, but from the standpoint of the Paramarthika level, the absolute level also, there is what? Freedom, you know, in the sense of the Atma is naturally pure. Not subject to papa punya, not subject to raga dvesha, not subject to any kind of krodha, etc., any kind of dvandva. And so therefore the lotus becomes a symbol of purity because it grows in the sludge and it repels the water and all sludge from you know, from attaching to itself. So too the Guru's feet, even though they may be you know, they may be walking within the world of duality, within the world of strife, pain, sorrow, etc., which many people consider the world to be full of strife and sorrow. They are pure because they are not, you know, they are the foundation of this knowledge which the Guru enjoys. So they are not subject to any kind of attracting any kind of impurity. So unto this lotus feet, Swami Vidyaranya is offering his namaha. And these lotus feet belong to whom? Shriya Yukta Shankarananda Guroho. Yeah. So Shriya Yukta, the, you know, Swami Shankarananda is the name, and Shankarananda is called Shri Shankarananda. Shri means prosperity, abundance. And what does this Guru, who is wearing a simple orange cloth, what does this guru, what kind of prosperity does the guru enjoy? He's, we saw in the Dakshinamurti Dhyana Shloka, Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam. He's the treasure house of all knowledge. Nidhi. The treasure house, the treasury of knowledge. And so the abundance here is the knowledge. Abundance here is compassion to teach. Abundance here is the ability to just, be one with this knowledge and to give freely. That is, so the one who is the coffer of this knowledge, Shriya Yukta Shankarananda, because this is the absolute and ultimate Shri He. Because, all other Shri is relative because it is finite, but the Shri in the form of knowledge, of the self is absolute because it does not, na vriddhim yati na kshayam, it is not subject to for the ups and downs like other fortunes. It does not increase nor decrease because it is limitless and unchanging. And so the one who is amply endowed with the abundance of self-knowledge, Shriya Yukta Shankarananda Guroho Padambu. So this, unto the Namaha, unto this lotus feet of Sri Shankarananda, who is what? Who is full of abundance and abundance of knowledge, self-knowledge, and then what? And then whose name is Shankarananda and who is fit to be called Guru. These days we use the word Guru very loosely. Stock market Guru, life Guru, cooking Guru, dance Guru, music Guru. Nothing wrong, but it is not the right usage of the word Guru. The definition of the word Guru is Mahavakya Upadesha Karta, the one who is engaged in the act of unfolding the Mahavakya, which is Jiveshwara Aikyam. So Brahma Vidya Upadeshakarta or Mahavakya Upadeshakarta is the definition of the word Guru, the one who teaches you the nature of the self as non-separate from the creator of the world, the creator of the universe, the Lord. Jagat Karanam Brahma is equal to you. So the one who teaches Tattvamasi is Guru. And so here Shankarananda obviously is fit to be called Guru because look at his, look at his erudition and look at who he has created in the form of the Shishya. A figure like, Swami Vidyaranya. So therefore he is fit to be called Guru. Gukaraha Andhakaraha. This is Vyutpatti Artha and the grammatical derivation. Gu, the syllable, stands for ignorance and Ru stands for the one who removes this ignorance. Andhakara nirodhitvat guruhu iti abhidhiyate. The appellate, of Guru comes from the Gu, the darkness of ignorance, the tamas, and Ru, the one who removes it. So obviously Shankarananda is fit to be called Guru. And then unto the feet, unto the lotus feet, Namaha. And what are these lotus feet? The lotus feet who have been, those lotus feet that have been born, unto the born or manifest lotus feet, Janmane. So the feet have taken birth. How can the feet be born? Feet are born when the knowledge is assimilated. That is the whole idea. When the student supplicates to the teacher, that is when the teacher is born. The teacher is not some kind of an epithet. The teacher is a relational epithet. So when the feet are born, that means when the person became worthy of being surrendered to. That means there was something to see in this person, there was something to gain in this person, and so the feet become the, feet become the altar of surrender, when the Shishya approaches the teacher. And here is a beautiful way in which which symbolizes the happy birthday moment for the feet of the Guru. Very beautiful. So involved, really. We can keep on going talking about this. So the feet are celebrating their birthday. Why? Because Swami Vidyaranya is adoring the feet as a Shishya. Very lovely. And so just like, Lord Dakshinamurti is Ashtamurti. You complete the Lord. You are, surrendering to the Lord, and that is why the Lord is the Lord. The Lord is not the Lord without your presence. Similarly, the Guru is not the Guru without the Shishya's presence. Very interesting. Because what the Guru teaches and what the Shishya embodies is one same Atma Tattva, the non-difference between the teacher and the student. And yet, as though split in order to understand this oneness. So the last frontier of duality, these feet are adored because they are going to take me to that place of oneness within myself. And these feet that have been born. So why have these feet been born? Let us look at the next line. Guru Padambu Janmane. And the feet have been born because these lotus feet have a specific purpose in life. Only they have a one job, they have only one job to do. Oh, what do they have to do? They have to bear the weight of the Guru, and they have to make the Guru walk around and make the Guru run and walk. No. The feet have been born for a different reason. The feet are called, Eka Karman. Eka Karman means only one job. Eka Karmane, unto those one job feet who have been born, they have the existence of the feet. This is the Shishya's attitude. The Shishya is not worried that the Guru needs the feet for walking, etc. That is just a Vyavaharika, empirical reality. We are talking of a subtle reality. Why the feet exist? The feet exist and the feet are manifest in the form of an altar of surrender for one purpose only. So in other words, the Guru has only one purpose. What is that? To dispel the ignorance of the student. The Guru is invoked not as a blessing Guru. There is no such blessing Guru. That blessing Guru and all this has to be, dispensed with right now. Because we are talking of Jignasus and Mumukshus. We are not talking of people coming and milking the feet for some punya. We are talking of Jignasus, and from the standpoint of the Jignasu, the feet of the teacher symbolize knowledge, and they exist for one purpose alone, to dispel my ignorance as a student. And so this is very beautifully talked about in this, in this mantra. And Eka Karmane, so the feet are born, Guru Padambu Janmane, unto that feet they have been born, who have only one purpose, whose sole purpose of birth. Why did the purpose of birth of the feet? So birth of the feet means birth of the status of the Guru is only for the sole purpose, Eka Karmane, unto those feet that have one purpose, Namaha. What is the one purpose? Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaha. So let us look at the word Graha. Graha means shark, crocodile and other big biting things. Other big biting things that are alive in bodies of water. And usually if you see these biting things, crocodile means half the animal is teeth. Think about it. Shark, that's why they made the movies Jaws. And then not content with that, it was so popular they made Jaws 2. Yeah. And so like this, all these big biting things, half the animal is teeth. The sharks have 3 rows of teeth, as though one is not enough. 3 rows of teeth. and because they retain their milk teeth and two other sets of teeth are born. So like this, this is these biting things like crocodiles. Graha means that which bites, that which catches. And so these catching, biting things, now they are chosen because you have other biting things like lions, etc., tigers, but we are not looking at those. We are looking at those biting things that live in bodies of water. Any idea why those have been chosen? Graha. Why bodies of water? Huh? What does the water symbolize? Exactly. Water symbolizes samsara because glub, glub, glub. One feels one is always permanently drowning, present, continuous. Because if you drown once and for all, no problem, gone. But here, gone, come back, gone, come back for air. Yes, I'm okay, I'm contented. No, glub, glub, glub. All this feeling of always being, susceptible and vulnerable to the flings and, to the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune in the form of the waters of samsara, papa, punya, fructifying, in time, and then one being a flotsam and jetsam in the ocean of samsara. That's why the biting things suddenly catch in the form of one's own karma, and one's own ignorance. Here it's not so much karma, it is ignorance. So of all the biting things, ignorance, has the biggest and the most injurious bite. So this bite is in the form of the crocodile, and this is all metaphoric because you see in Adi Shankara's life, he goes for the bath in the river and a crocodile catches hold of his foot. And when does the crocodile release? When the mother gives him blessings to renounce this world, meaning go for this path of knowledge. So here this is a literal manifestation of the crocodile. So figuratively also the catching crocodile of ignorance lets go when the one commits to self-knowledge. That's when the ocean of samsara starts to release, and when the crocodile releases its graha grip. So here, and how does the crocodile release the grip? Because if the crocodile thought it was the best and biggest biting thing, crocodile is what? Ignorance. It is, it is proved wrong. Because the feet of the Guru kick the crocodile of this biting crocodile of ignorance. The feet of the Guru have a mouth that is bigger than the crocodile. The feet of the Guru bite the crocodile, consume the crocodile in one fell swoop, in one bite. This is what is called grasa, food. That's how we have the word grass in English. Grass also means food. After all, people are drinking wheat, grass, juice, etc. Sanskrit word grasa means a bite of food. Food is grasa. So, those feet which have been born for the sole purpose of eating up the crocodile of ignorance that has eaten into me, the jiva, from lifetimes after lifetimes, and has bothered me, has made me full of holes, full of, identified with all my limitations, unto that feet namaha. And not only that, when the crocodile goes, the crocodile of ignorance goes, along with that the waters of samsara also recede. Seaweed recedes, the riptides recede, the whirlpools recede, because all of them are dependent upon this water, and this water, and the crocodile itself goes, the water goes, everything that sustains the crocodile also goes. Why? Because all those riptide, seaweed, etc., they are dependent upon the ignorance. When the ignorance goes, all the, Atma Ajnanam means I don't know myself, that has to go. And when that goes, all the effects of Ajnanam, samsara, go. So the effects of Ajnanam, in the form of I don't like myself, nobody loves me, I'm getting a bad lot in life, all of them go because they are leaning on the Ajnanam. So those feet that eat up, whose sole purpose of birth, taking birth, is to eat up the crocodile of ignorance, unto those feet Namaha. And so one more time we'll chant it now that we know the whole meaning. So we make sure we have not left out any word. Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmane. Yeah, we have seen Savilasa means along with, Vilasena saha vartate iti savilasa. Vilasa means distraction. Something that tempts, something that takes you away. And here Vilasa means the effects of samsara. And what is the effects of samsara? The effects of samsara is thinking myself to be a limited individual, seeing myself as a victim, karta, bhokta, etc. That is savilasa. And what is this graha? This maha moha graha. Maha means great. Moha is the delusion as a result of ignorance. So the resultant delusion because of ignorance is the crocodile, and that crocodile, when it is taken care of by the feet of the Guru, by surrendering to the feet of the Guru, takes care of the crocodile. And along with the crocodile, you pull the plug on the waters of samsara, the waters go, everything that sustains the crocodile goes. The food of the crocodile goes, the waters go, the seaweed goes, the riptides and the everything go. And so that is what, this is what an invocation, really. And so if you can imagine, if this is the first verse of the Pañcadaśī, today we have had a little appetizer in the evening class. And then so tomorrow morning we will have, we will start the main course with the fourth chapter. We'll have one of the main courses. We have that to look forward to. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.